Thanks for joining us for KBOI 2 News Midday. I'm Kelsey Anderson. Now to your top 11 stories at 11 o'clock. Two men are recovering this morning after a reported stabbing overnight. It happened on Greenhead Avenue in Meridian around 2 a.m. Meridian police say two men got in a cab for a ride and one man started strangling the driver. Officers say the driver started stabbing the passengers in self-defense and crashed into a nearby car. The two passengers were taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. The sale of recreational marijuana is now legal in Oregon. So we asked those who patrol the interstate what the legalization of marijuana will mean for them. A senior Idaho state trooper says it will make their job harder, but he says they're ready. He says there will be no extra patrol at the border and adds this isn't a big change, especially when you consider pot is already legal in some form in 4 of our neighboring states.
People have been using marijuana in Idaho and across the country for, hundreds of years. So pretty much status quo for us. We're going to do our jobs and you're going to be going to jail, bottom line.
He said if caught bringing in pot from Oregon will get you arrested. Also, if you're driving back from Oregon and in your car is a pipe that was used to smoke marijuana, even if you don't have any pot, you can be arrested.
A plane just crashed at the end of the runway tower. Oh my God, yes sir, I got it, thank you.
The NTSB and FAA are investigating a small plane crash that killed a Nampa man. The crash happened at an airport near Tampa, Florida. Air traffic control audio shows Marshall Barath was practicing touch-and-go takeoffs and landings when something went wrong.
Basically practice takeoff and landings. They stay in the pattern. He had come in, he had landed, then he was immediately accelerating, getting ready to take off.
During that practice, the plane veered off the runway and crashed. No word yet on a cause of that crash. New Jersey's governor has just declared a state of emergency ahead of Hurricane Joaquin. The Category 3 storm is now headed toward the East Coast. It bore down on lightly populated islands of the central and eastern Bahamas and is now headed toward the U.S. No significant damage was reported when the storm reached the island chain, but meteorologists believe it will gain strength as it heads toward the East Coast. Russian jets are accused of bombing U.S. armed rebels this morning. Russia carried out a second day of strikes in Syria, and a senior U.S. politician claims the target included rebels backed by the United States. We'll have an in-depth report on this coming up in just minutes. Construction on the North Fork Payette River Bridge near Cascade should be complete this week. The Idaho Transportation Department says the bridge on Highway 55 has 2 new lanes, shoulders, and sidewalks. The old bridge was more than 65 years old. Construction crews have been working on the bridge since this past spring. A Meridian school trustee is suing his own district over student fees. Russell Joaquin believes costs such as lab fees and sports activities should be covered under the Idaho Constitution. Joaquin says students aren't being provided the free education as promised under state law. The current district leader argues there is a way to get around the fees if a family can't afford them, though. Thousands of dollars worth of merchandise is recovered following a credit card fraud investigation. Police say they arrested Alberto Miguel Torres Castillo and Zuwatni Gonzalez thanks to a citizen tip. Investigators say the two had 39 stolen credit cards on them. Officers say the duo used the cards in several Idaho cities and in Washington. Both are from out of state. Heads up drivers near the mall this weekend. The Idaho Transportation Department says crews will close the westbound off-ramp from the connector to Cole Road. Construction crews are repaving that section of road. The ramp will close at 10 p.m. on Saturday and should reopen by 5 a.m. Monday. Well, you can now start applying for Bogus Basin winter jobs. The mountain is looking to hire 500 employees. Positions include ski instructors, lodge workers, and lift operators. Managers say they're hoping for a long, successful season. The mountain says a typical season starts around Thanksgiving and lasts until early April. And the city of Boise is asking for a large Christmas tree to be donated. The tree must be between 20 and 35 feet tall and readily accessible on your property. There will be a tree lighting ceremony at the end of November in the Grove Plaza. If you have a pine you think will work, give Jeff Hunt of the Downtown Boise Association a call. That number is on the bottom of your screen.